I'm talking about me getting, in my case, cheese doodles, not popcorn. Outside of the Super Bowl, there is nothing that I love more than presidential debates. I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. He ain't gonna get invited to the barbecue. First of all, I think I can afford my own barbecue. Let's get that out the way. I am not running because I ain't giving up my paper. They said I had to give up my paper. It ain't happening.
A hard coat, knock upon your front door. When your ass attack like cancer, burn your condo down. Let my pin drop, don't hear sound.
And straight like that, we back. Everybody doing out there in the world. Hope everyone doing well, doing swell. You dig what I'm saying? That's for me, myself, and I can't complain, but I'd rather keep it to myself, man. Now we back in the building to wrap up this Stephen A. interview, man. And at this part right here, he starts to get into his whole little deal about why all of a sudden do we hear your face and your voice all over the political scene.
I said, listen to this quote, politics. I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. They're like, what? How can he say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're...
Man, listen, bro. Oh, my God, man. So, Stephen A. for one cycle says, hey, everyone that usually votes Democrat, without having any promises, any inkling of any cooperation, any resolutions being passed, camaraderie being had, go and vote Republican. Just give them the vote. Because Democrats are so used to thinking that the black vote is so built in for them that they don't ever have to do anything. They know that vote is coming. Now, go into your Google, just go into your AI and say, hey, give me the policies and rules and laws and programs that have been passed that benefit the people under Democrat leadership and under Republican leadership. And look and see, don't that Democrat list run off the damn table compared to the Republican list. So, you know, I hear in the political scene when they say voting, man, they say the lesser two evils and shit like that. And maybe in the manner of speaking, you can't, because it's not like they can just flip the pen, bro, and just literally pass anything and just give people reparations and all that. And I don't even be worried about reparations. But there's clearly a situation in which you have a chance to get things passed. You know, Democrats in office, they don't have a problem with people eating. They don't have a problem with people getting health care. They don't have a problem with keeping costs down so people can actually afford houses. Republicans, on the other hand, the capitalism party, they don't give a damn if you homeless. They don't give a damn if you get some food. You got 3 kids, they don't want you to abort them, but we don't care if you can feed them either. Put them in adoption so the adoption agent get paid because it's capitalism. But Stephen A. says, hey, man, give that vote to the Republican side of people, not for anything that they're going to do, but just to teach the Democrats a lesson. Do you know what the world will look like, or the United States will look like 4 years later after that? This man, bro, these are right-wing Fox News talking points, bro. That's what they going to say. Oh, Democrats just on the plantation in lockstep. They don't have to give you anything. They never say, this is what we have for black people or minorities or just for the general American. Come vote for us. They just say, oh, man, you only vote for them because you're just stupid and don't think for yourself. And Stephen A. says, yeah, go and vote with the people that look at you like that.
Is why we're considered disenfranchised. I'm tired of that. What I want is to put ourselves as a community in a position where both parties have to work to get our vote.
Can I ask you this? Do you think you covering politics like you cover politics, in the words of your mans, is that good for business, your business?
Great question. Great question, Cam. I think Cam is a better journalist than the man we looking at across from him. Great question. Because you went through this whole soliloquy about, you don't say this, or you got to do what's good for business, corporate man, and corporate this, and I said that. So apparently, your views on these particular politicians, your bosses have deemed that, or you have deemed that good for business. But all of these other stances that you chose not to speak out about because they were bad for business. How do these views against the Democrat Party and the Jasmine Crockett's and the Colin Kaepernicks and stuff of the world, how is that good for business, bro? Unless the people that you're in business with also agree with you. And that is not the black community, bro. That's why people don't know where they are.
It has the potential not to be. We'll have to see. So far it is. I think I'm doing pretty good. So far it is. But it has the potential not to be. But here's the point. Cam, if I thought like that.
He had to adjust his seat because he's thinking of a way to spin this and make it sound good, because that was a killer question. But Stephen A. said, yeah, apparently it's good for business now. How so? Because you get some interviews on these chud channels. It's no black people out taking you any more seriously because of your political views. Now, you got a $100 million contract from ESPN and probably got it re-signed and some bonuses and all that and people viewing your YouTube channel, but not conflate that with popularity as though your message is getting through and hitting home to people. So what does he mean it's good for business? But he know he lied. You feel that little slide to the front of the chair because he know Cam just tried him down. You dig what I'm saying? So he had to give himself the process. That's why he slide up to the front and not even try to spin it some kind of way.
That I'd never be here. There's plenty of decisions over the years I could have made that would have been good for business. But I had the courage to tackle the issues that I felt passionate enough to attack. That's what makes me me.
Now, I like where you at, because similar to you covering politics, it's almost similar for what does an athlete have the credentials to speak about other sports. For the record, why are you even speaking about politics? Like, what goes into the thought of like why from all your shows are your platforms? You have a show that's dedicated to politics.
Okay. So before I answer that question, let me close what I was saying by saying this. I said that not to discourage people to vote for Democrats or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if Cam wanted to buy this property, do you walk in, I'll give it to you, how much you want? Or do you investigate and find different spots and compare prices and see what better deal you're gonna get? Same thing if you're buying a car, same thing if you're buying a house. You're saying flatter me. Flatter me. What I'm saying I said it back then, flatter us. Stop thinking that you get to assume that you have to earn our vote. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's what I stand on to this very day.
These are a couple of clips from the people that apparently he thinks are doing more to earn black people's votes.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Okay. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily, no one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner.
Okay, so Trump has been in office for 9 months now, and just think about how much race has played into his presidency so far. 1, he blamed a plane crash on DEI before knowing who the pilot was. 2, he has sent his lawyers to museums to vet not all of the exhibits, but just the exhibits specifically on slavery. 3, he quietly removed the MLK bust from the Oval Office. 4, he has made racial profiling into official government policy, allowing ICE officers to stop people just because they have brown skin.
Black and Hispanic men, do you want to know what holds them down? Gangs. Being in gangs and dealing drugs is what holds them down. That's not a white person thing, but gangs control them. They tell the young men in their communities, don't go to school. Don't you move out of this project. Don't you move out of this community. You join this gang. And that's where you belong.
Now, you'd be hard-pressed to find anything in those clips that would endear them to the black community. Say, hey, yeah, let's go and vote for them. Let's put them in complete power over the diaspora. What is this nigga talking about, bro?
Now back to your point. When you sit up there and you talk about politics and stuff like that, Cam, I'm a teenager growing up in Hollis, Queens. At 11 o'clock at night, The Odd Couple came on, that former comedy show. Clean, Felix Unger and Oscar Madison. The Honeymooners came on at 11:30. And at around 11:45 or so, midway through The Honeymooners, Ted Koppel for News Nightline would come on ABC. Do you know I wouldn't go to sleep until I watched Ted Koppel? Do you know that I would go home every night and watch Peter Jennings, ABC World News Tonight? Do you know that on Sunday mornings I would watch Meet the Press with Tim Russert? And I would watch the political.
Now, maybe I'm a crazy man. You know, like I said in the A, crazy man. Maybe I'm a crazy man. Shout out Aunt Rich. But this would suggest to me that instead of going into sports, that you were trash at. He was trash at sports. But some kind of way, he pursued a career in sports journalism instead of political journalism, even when he was a young lad, in between these 2-3 black and white sitcoms that would come on, he would salivate over the opportunity to watch Ted Koppel. He would be all into it gathering information. Then he'd watch CNN and Meet the Press and all. So then why did you go into political journalism? Someone pointed out an instance to me before, like a year ago. Point out an instance to me when Stephen A. wrote a political column. I had something to say about politics. He ain't said nothing about politics in 30 years of journalism. But now he wants to go back to what he used to always watch and was up in love with. That's why I'm talking about politics now, instead of going into politics when you were available to do it since you love it so much. And you were so trash at sports, the thing that you scream loud about. Great line of question, Cam Newton.
Watch the political shows. I've always been fascinated by politics. The Super Bowl, to me, outside of the Super Bowl, there is nothing that I love more than presidential debates. I'm talking about me getting, in my case, cheese doodles, not popcorn.
Cuz it's no way he wouldn't have been a political journalist if he was this much into it. Dog, political debates only happen every 4 years. Before the age of Donald Trump and his just over the top and people want to watch him be dumb on camera. Before then, bro, presidential debates weren't a big, and you want me to believe to a young black male such as Stephen A. The presidential debates every 4 years were his must-see TV. They weren't must-see TV for anybody, bro. They weren't that popular because the candidates weren't not that interesting. You know what I'm saying? This is a cap artist, bro.
I'm talking, in my case, I'm talking about the cheese doodles, the little snacks, and I'm watching the debate. That's how I always knew I would be a good debater. Because I used to do this, I used to watch this stuff religiously growing up. Even when we talk about politics now, bro, I'm not giving up my money. You got to give up your money according to FCC equal time rule.
I don't know that he's a good debater. I hadn't seen Stephen A. put himself in a format where it was someone there to really rebut what he was saying. He goes on interviews and people to ask him a line of questions that they already know the answer to. And then on First Take, like you said, he the man at ESPN. So he gets to write that and kind of organize that material as it pertains to how much he's put on the spot or rebutted. People that rebut him don't end up on the show no more. You don't see Jason Williams on them. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know that you're a great debater. I hadn't seen you really stand on business in front of someone that has a problem with the stuff you say. You never sit down in front of them. You may invite them on your show, but they like, nigga, if you ain't coming to your show, you know what I'm saying? Like, man,
in order for you to run for the presidency of the United States, you got to give up your money. I work too hard for my paper. I ain't giving that up.
So are you running?
I'm not. I am not running. I am not running because I ain't giving up my paper. They said I had to give up my paper. It ain't happening. But that's not the only reason. As I sit up there and I purview,
dog, I hate this. Oh my God, bro. First of all, I think that trend has been bucked. I don't think Donald Trump done gave up anything. In fact, Trump made him about $6 billion, from what I understand. Cuz say, I don't want to be a president because I got to give up my money. Again, a further insight to how he operates. He is all for the corporate overlords. They paying me my money. That's where I'm happy being, and I'll do what it takes to continue to make that money. Because being a president, the overarching theme of being a president is to make things better for the overall diaspora, the overall planet. You dig what I'm saying? With America being the world power. That is the point of being the president, brother. The leader of the free world. You dig what I'm saying? To go in there and do some things that will further humanity, man, allow mankind to continue to evolve and prosper. Stephen A. said, hell no. I like making money more than I like helping the people. But you want to go out and tell people who to vote for and who going to cater to them, what they going to do for them. But you don't want to actively try to take that position and facilitate that process because you have to give up your precious dollar bills. If he's not a right-wing politician, bro, like he gonna run. He'll run.
The landscape, and I think about the opportunities that I have available. I'm like, wait a minute. My show on POTUS, SiriusXM POTUS Radio, has exploded. My YouTube platform continues to grow. My SiriusXM show, sports and politics, is growing. First Take is still #1. Why the hell would I do it? I'm making more noise. Look at the Capitol Hill. They got 535 representatives, 435 in Congress, 100 in the Senate. They can't get anything right. They can't get together for nothing, for a damn cup of coffee half the time, okay? The president doing what he want to do, but it's via executive orders, only to get sued and then have to turn around and renege on what he promised because he can't get shit done. You got all of this stuff going on. Why would I give up my money and my quality of life for that? I'm not doing that, but what I'm saying to you is this. Here's the point that I'm making relevant to your question.
Okay.
Cam?
That look on Cam's face says it all. Bro, this is all bullshit. You just want to go out and say what they want you to say, attack these politicians, get the spotlight off them, you know what I mean, put a little more muck on their name. But then when it comes to a time for you to actually be able to get in there and make some change and stand on this business for the community that you say you all about, nope. I like my money too much. And that look on Cam's face, Cam looking to the side like, bro, you full of shit, man. You are completely full of shit.
This is the part that make me feel at times like I'm willing to give up the money. There is nothing I want more than to be on that debate stage against those presidential candidates. When I tell you what I salivate over, I'm thinking about what these politicians have done to mess up our country, to have us feeling more divided than ever before. And then you combine that with how some, not most, not all, because everywhere I go throughout the streets of America, black folks don't show me nothing but love. I don't know what the fuck these people talking about. You know, black people, it's like, you know, he ain't gonna get invited to the barbecue. First of all, I think I can afford my own barbecue. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, and most importantly, if
a couple of things, bro. Do not confuse, because not everyone out here is in tune to everything you do. You dig what I'm saying? But don't get people being starstruck. Don't get that confused with you being a pillar of the community that we would really hold in a high regard and look at as someone that would really get it done for us. Don't mistake that, bro. Don't think that people aren't out here watching. The people that talk about it, the people that talk about you are watching what you do and watching what you say. There's a lot of people that don't know. You dig what I'm saying? And these are probably I don't know who it is. Let me not speculate who it is. But for him to try to take the fact that some people come out and want to take pictures with him or something when he pop out, don't confuse that with getting a pass. Like, man, Stephen A. so famous and so well doing, bro. Like, we just happy to see him, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, nigga, we monitoring you closely. You dig what I'm saying? And we don't rock with you like that. You dig what I'm saying? It just is what it is. There are some people, we're not a monolith, bro. It's not like all 40, 50 million black people out here feel like that. You got a lot of them that wear red hats out here. So you still got some camaraderie out here.
If I had my own barbecue, my peeps are gonna be there. We gonna have a barbecue. We gonna hang out. We good. So I don't need that. But thirdly, and most importantly, I don't know when we won't get over the fact that we don't get to define each other's blackness. We're not qualified to do that. We're not one monolithic group. We come in all shapes, colors, and sizes.
Wrong. We as black people, as a black person, you are more than welcome. You are more than qualified to check a nigga black card out here. We know what the black card entails, nigga. What are you talking about? You don't have to listen to it. You can act like it don't affect you, but oh yes, sir, we indeed have the power, the culture. The culture has the power to tell you when you out of line. Sean Hannity can't co-sign you, bro. Sean Hannity can't make you feel like you doing a great thing for the community. Now, he would take that as such, as that validation. But nah, my nigga, we indeed can tell you that you're not invited. We're not rocking with it. You act like one of them.
Okay? Now, all I ask is that people get it right. I am not a Republican. I am not somebody that is going to sit up there and ignore the resistance some in that party have shown to progression as it pertains to the black community. But I'm also not.
Son, how's about the head man in charge, Donald Trump? How about him? Said that you won't ignore what he's done. The people under him work for him, cuz.
Going to be foolish enough to sit up here and act like everything the Democrats have done is in our best interest when you pushing for immigration or pushing for migrants to cross the border and you don't give a damn that whether they're legal or illegal migrants. I know why.
Right-wing chuddery. Because you know those same immigrants that they was screaming about getting out the country, they lazy ass they ain't go to work when they started to get them out of here. So then Donald Trump turned around and said, well, we need some of them. You know what I'm saying? The people that's working and all that, leave them in here. You dig what I'm saying? So when they say pushing for, like, they would literally like you to believe that Democrat politicians was just like, bro, tear the wall down. Just let anybody run into the country. That's not even a sensible thought, bro. But since they had more sensible approaches to how to ingratiate people into the country legally, and they didn't have ideas about building concentration camps to just throw people in, let them tell it. They just want immigration to come on in here. But now those same people are okay with it because they lazy ass losing money. Sally and them just want to lay up in the house and look at the bank account. You dig what I'm saying? It's so stupid how they try to boil things down to the simplest little points, bro, and end up just contradicting everything they're talking about.
Because you're trying to dilute the potency of the black vote. Because you want to make sure that voting black, because the Hispanic community is growing by the numbers each and every single day, and they are now the dominant minority as opposed to us as black people, because we only making up 13.6% of the population. You're basically...
Again, man, Stephen A. is so dumb. The right-wing talking point is that Democrats love illegals coming in, which illegals can't vote, first of all. Let's understand that, bro. If you do not have the proper identification and clarification and a clearance, we should say, it's not like you can just walk in and vote, bro. First of all, I don't matter if it's 70 million of them over here. If they ain't got their proper shit, can't none of them cast a vote. But the right-wing point is that, yeah, they let them come in so they can get the votes from them. Stephen A. is saying Democrats wanted them to come in so that they could, or is he saying Republicans? So they can dilute the black vote, and so that the black vote isn't important anymore? Like, what is he trying to say here? Because diluting the black vote would only benefit the Republican Party, right? Because that would be more people voting Republican and less for Democrats. So how would, But they said Democrats the one that want the illegals in so they can get them. And on either side, if you're illegal, you can't vote, bro. That's the overarching thing.
Basically trying to render us potentless. And I'm not down for that. I'm down for us. I'm not against anybody. I'm not against white people. I love my Hispanic brothers and sisters. I got Hispanic relatives. Some of my relatives are from Puerto Rico, okay? But the point is, I love us as a people, and I'm never gonna abandon us. My point is, you're not gonna sit up there and think that you get to define what is supposed to be important for our community when I got a clue about it, which is why I got on Matt Barnes. You wanna sit up there and you wanna talk that junk about me? What did I say? Invite me on All the Smoke. You, Steven Jackson, you wanna chirp? Invite me on. I dare you. I dare you. Let's talk issues. Don't give me emotion.
In sports or just...
I'm talking all of it. And everything. Because, see, I got facts. You telling me what you feel. I got facts. Me as a sports reporter, me as a commentator, what I've done for the black community, the sacrifices that I've made, the battles that I've fought. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that I got people hired or whatever. Does Cam get hired without me, though?
No.
See what I'm saying?
No.
There's a whole bunch of people that get it. Now, mind you, I didn't have to decide and vote. But had I voted no, it wouldn't have happened.
That's fine.
You understand? When it's a Kerry Champion or it's Jamel Hill or whatever, no, but respect for them. Jamel Hill is an outstanding reporter and a good person. I like Jamel. And guess what? Regardless of how Kerry tried to come at me or whatever, I got love for Kerry. I ain't got nothing negative to say about her, but I'm just making the point.
I got you.
This notion that I'm tired of folks allowing these people to talk. You know what a question that I would like people to ask? This is a question I would like people to ask. And I'm not talking about Whitlock, because I will never show up anywhere with his fat ass. That will never happen. That would never happen. You know, I consider him the devil. And I apologize to Chris Broussard, because Chris Broussard, that's my boy. He don't want me doing that, because he's a very religious man, and he says there's only one devil. Don't do that, Steve. Okay, fine. So I'm going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Sean tells me that to be nice. I got it. I understand. So I won't say that. But he is a fat piece of shit, and I don't like him. All right? So then, having said all of that, all right, what I'm saying to you is, with that being said, outside of him, all of these people that come and sit down and talk amongst all of y'all, have you noticed they don't do that shit to my face? Have you noticed they haven't invited me on? Matt Barnes, and I shouldn't use him as an example because we good and I don't have anything against him, but I got so much respect for him, I mean it this way. If you talking, because he's a brilliant brother, right? And you know shit, right? Well, how come you didn't invite me on All the Smoke? You got a problem with my issues? What issues? How come you didn't do that? Look, listen, Draymond Green has complained about me in the past.
Cause niggas don't fuck with you, Steven. Hey, niggas don't want to be in the same room with you, bro. They be done fired on your ass. Then you gonna sue them. You dig what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't like a lot of niggas out here, but if they don't invite you to be in the same room, then what that mean? They a chump or they not standing on business? Niggas don't want to be around you, bro. Niggas don't even really care about hearing your explanation. We've heard what you said. Don't come on here and try to make some alternate points and move the goalposts or catch me slipping on something and that turn into conversation and you being right. Nigga, we heard what you said. We said what we said, and that's where it is, pimp. You dig what I'm saying? He always will invite me on your show. I don't want to hear all that holiday shit, man. Be just loud and wrong. You dig what I'm saying? But this was your boy Stephen A, man, and a pretty interesting interview from him over there with Cam, but Stephen has said it in his own words, bro. He is a corporate man that does what's good for business. And if you keep up with what he said, then it's obvious what he thinks and what the people he worked for think are good for business. You know what I'm saying? And we just see it and we comment on it, bro. It's nothing he can come out and say it's our fault for trying to hold him to be too pro-black. We ain't even asked him to speak on no black issues. But when you come out and you always have something negative to say about some of the biggest black figures out there, we got to question it. You just heard him going down this line, Jamil Hill, Kerry Champions. All these people, bro, these happen to be prominent black figures out here. Like, he didn't name like I said, bro, he ain't name a Travis Kelce or Ronaldo's or any of these owners out here. He ain't spoke on the Fernando Mendoza's, Diego Pavias. Like, he got all the smoke for us. And, you know, a lot of my shows are around black individuals out here, and I call out every spade that's a spade. You doing something stupid, I'm gonna call you out. Now, I police my community because I try to hold us to a better standard. You dig what I'm saying? But I don't come out against the people that's in the culture trying to put something forward and be like, damn, boy, you should have did that. Why you did that? That's what Stephen A. does all the time, and he wonders why people looking at him sideways. But he got enough money to have his own barbecues. He's not interested in being invited to anyone else's, and, you know, to each his own. That's pretty much the way of the world, at least the way of the United States of America, man. Get your money, and you can move out and just be away from everybody and exist in your own bubble, and then you think that everything you got or everything you about and everything you think is the way of the world. And if you can sustain that and keep it going for the people inside your bubble, then so be it. But just know that you are a complete asshole out here in the rest of the world, a dumb fool. You dig what I'm saying? So money is one thing, but common sense is another, man. But this has been his little spiel and his explanation as far as he wants us to know if he on this Cam Newton show. And until we get some more material like this, man, it's been straight like that. I'm out.
A hard coat, knock upon your front door when your ass attack like